even the idea of, do you own anything? Or are you just buying a license to watch it? Things like Willow. They just made Willow, the new version of Willow, and then they didn't like it, and they wiped it completely from Disney Plus.
What are you talking about?
The what now?
I don't understand. The Willow TV show? I've never heard of that. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is not the show you're looking for. You've never seen
There was a
Willow
bright
from
flash on my
2018.
screen when I tried to watch it, and it was Men in Black style. I don't know.
Yeah.
Big Brother is here.
You need carbs!
May thy knife chip and shatter.
There is beauty in imperfections.
You're great. I am.
And if you feel it,
Are you watching closely?
Well, we're just gonna do, we call it Roundtable episode, where we just chat about anything that comes up. Usually that's because here on the One Eyed Film Podcast, we just kind of roll with it. And that's how maybe you guys have forgotten, or our audience has forgotten, that this is really how it started. In the other episodes, William and Josh have made appearances, and they were my friends from high school that I talked with movies late into the night about. And of course, that means I must have a podcast. And so we just like hanging out. I do have some questions, because whenever we have guests on, we like to learn a little bit about them. So first off, introduce yourselves and your podcast, and how you reached out to us. Because I don't know, I actually don't think I fully know the steps that you decided to DM us. It was through the Ninjas or Butterflies somehow, but who are you guys?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Why are you on our show? Wait, have we started?
Yes, sorry. I don't do an intro. My bad.
I was also going to say, I don't think Andrew's ready either.
Oh.
From that shot, I know Andrew's not ready.
Is this so, Heath? I'm trying something different out with my camera.
Oh.
So yeah, I apologize,
He's not
guys.
staring into our soul.
I didn't mean to break you. Are you ready then, Andrew?
I'm good.
Yeah, Andrew's trying something. This is the debut of Andrew's new camera angle.
Yeah, it is. Gotta
raise him up.
I like it.
Well, yeah. So I guess I heard about you because I think, is it Zach who does the quote page for Ninjas or Butterflies? So I started following that account, and it cracks me up. And then one of your stories was posting about the One Eyed Film Podcast. And then I was like, sweet, I'll check it out. And I was like looking through your feed, and it was cracking me up because it was pretty much all the same stuff like that we do.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's new movies, old movies, like upcoming, like current TV shows, just like a bunch of random stuff. So it's kind of how I was like, yeah, I think and then I just direct messaged you guys, just like, hey, you want to do a collab? And we've always found it fun just to jump in with other shows and do fun stuff. So
of course. And Heath, am I correct in my understanding that you have another podcast as well that's not movie related?
Oh,
he's got like 3.
Oh wow.
Wow.
One's idle, but so I've got In Bad Company, which is like an interview podcast, which is it's all over the place. Like I interview a business owner, I interviewed a paranormal expert, a healthcare consultant. I've got a upcoming interview with a C.S. Lewis professor. So I'm very excited. He's got his doctorate in C.S. Lewis, and he's the man.
I've heard of people who are like Tolkien professionals, similar vein to Lewis, but it's just like they're just obsessed professionally with those old authors. It's crazy.
That's what I aspire to be someday. I'll get my doctorate in Tolkien and
professionally obsessed.
You have to memorize the entire whatchamacallit book.
Silmarillion.
Yeah, you have to memorize the whole Silmarillion. That's what I think you have to is the standard of being a Tolkien expert. But
yeah, it's glorious.
Andrew, you're just along for Heath's ride.
Yeah, I mean, one of our first like interactions as friends was deep movie discussion. It's obviously very easy for just two people to chat about Star Wars, but I think some of our first conversations at just like a mutual friend of ours was getting married, so we ended up at the same wedding. and our wives had lived together for a number of years. And just like how, Heath, I'm looking in the eyes when I say this, how you talked to me about Star Wars was just beautiful. Nobody else talks to me.
I was going to say, if anybody's anti-Star Wars, just send them my way. I'll romance them a little bit.
Yeah, so there was a instant chemistry, I suppose. Yeah. And we just, every time we got together, we were talking about what we've seen recently, our favorite stuff. So we're like, hey, do you have a podcast? I don't have a podcast. We should do this.
Speaking of, somebody brought up what we've been watching recently. That's one of our more common or more regular questions that we like to either give quick reviews. Well, they don't end up being quick. Or quick reviews for, or just showing what we diversify in. So I want to know what Zach's been watching since we recorded a while. It's been like 2 weeks.
It's going to be the same answer.
Same thing. Well, it's Superman and Lois. And
well, now it's also... So, yeah, I've been watching Superman and Lois. I'm in the 3rd season of that right now, which is surprisingly deep and dark compared to the rest of the show. I don't want to spoil anything because I think it's a phenomenal show that any Superman fan needs to go watch. David Cornsweat's got some good competition because I like Tyler Hoechlin as Superman so much. He fits the role so well. So I'm almost done with the 3rd season, about to start the final season. But besides that, I've been watching through the Mission Impossible movies to prepare to watch the newest one, which Seth and I plan to go to this weekend.
Yeah.
So... Nice. It's funny. I've watched the 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 5th so far because I don't really plan on rewatching the 2nd.
Okay, so you did watch it at some point.
I have seen the 2nd one.
Okay. You were watching the first one like last weekend, and then today you said, "Hey, I'm watching Ghost Protocol or something." I'm like, I guess you have full days off from work, like today, but
yeah.
So you haven't seen Fallout yet?
I've seen Fallout before.
Okay.
I've seen all of them. I'm just rewatching all of them.
Oh, and you're rewatch.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I watched Mission Impossible last night. I guess I can go next for what I've been watching. Watched Mission Impossible 1 last night. Really goofy for 1996, but crazy that it's gone on for 30 years now.
Oh yeah.
And the other Mission Impossible movie I've seen is Fallout and Dead Reckoning. So I haven't gotten to the other 4. And we're not going to get it done in time for this weekend watching Final Reckoning, which I've heard mixed reviews about. But that was one of the things we watched. And the other one is The Accountant 1, because we still want to get to Accountant 2 in theaters. Maybe it's running its life cycle right now, so we might miss it. But The Accountant 1 was really good. Our senior pastor's wife said that she really liked Accountant 2, and I'm like, you're like the sweetest woman. And she's just like, yeah, it was great. I loved it. And so we're keen on seeing it, especially since one was up there for us. It was weirdly sweet for how much action there was.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that too.
What have you guys been watching recently that's been noteworthy?
Well, I was going to say, I'm ready. Last night I rewatched Nobody. Have you guys seen Nobody?
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I know it.
Okay, so it is such a John Wick knockoff, but it's so good. It's like, I don't know, I might like it better than one or a few of the John Wicks. So it's just a really solid movie. It's fun.
And they're doing a second one. I saw a trailer for that the other day.
Yeah. And we may or may not have gotten the name for our son from that movie. Named my daughter after a C.S. Lewis character, and my son's named after the movie Nobody. So you do what you got to do. But I've also been rewatching Dragon Ball Z. I've never been watching it through the whole time, so I'm going. It's a long journey, but it's a fun one.
Yeah. The guys have been trying to get me to watch anime just because. Apparently there's a few good ones that have some conversations that apparently need to be had on the One-Eyed Film podcast. I think I don't remember what Deacon suggested to me, but I think I was starting Attack on Titan, which I think is
I have seen
the default starting into anime journey But we'll see. I don't know when I have time for that.
Attack on Titan's good. It's heavy though. It's like it's dark. My big recommendation for anime is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's a really solid show too. And Brotherhood is like, once again, it's one of those weird series that's like it's the same series, but this is the shorter version. Okay. And like Brotherhood is just quick and clean and still very like serious, but it's a good one too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Andrew.
Well, I just finished The Last of Us.
Ooh, interesting.
I know. I'm a big fan of the game.
Same.
And I've got you called this a review segment, so let me tell you.
Yeah.
I can't mute Andrew on this. I'm sorry.
I was so disappointed.
Were you? I haven't heard this take yet.
The finale was yesterday, 2 days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. As of recording, the season just finished. It's only 7 episodes long. And I was like, wait a second. What? Why? Yeah. So if you're familiar with the game, no spoilers, but if anyone's listening and wants to watch it or play the games, like I'd recommend it. But there are ultimately 2 storylines happening with The Last of Us Part 2. And season 2 was only one of those stories. And they stopped it. So the natural progression through the source material, when it shifts and then you get to play the second part of the story, they said, hey, we're done now and give us 2 years and we'll film the next season. And I'm like, no, because honestly, the story sucks big time without that second part. Like it's purposefully infuriating, and you're not supposed to really like it without part 2, but they didn't like do it. So it's just stupid. Yeah. Big bummer.
Yeah. We had a Last of Us episode when the first season came out, talked about how it feels different without the gameplay aspect, because I think we said that it was a really good adaptation of the story, but not the same feeling. And I think that's a good thing for adaptations, because as Zach can go on about How to Train Your Dragon, just what more is it making you feel if it's just higher resolution, more or less, if it's a little less stylized. So
like, would you watch someone just play this game?
Whoa, there's a movie. Just like the movie is watching somebody play the game.
It's just a Let's Play from YouTube.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I think we might get around to The Last of Us Season 2, but I'm not too excited because I've heard a lot of even fans who were hoping for a little bit of a change from what the Part 2 game had to offer, still were dissatisfied because they tried to change something. I don't know. This is all secondhand.
Yeah, it was. I wouldn't say it was a waste of time for me. I enjoyed it all the way, honestly, up until it ended. When I found out that like before we pushed play, I was like, wait, this is the season finale. I saw it on Instagram somewhere, and my wife was like, we just started watching this.
Yeah.
What's going on? So it just feels, there's like some emotions with like, I feel like undercut. Like, I know the story that's supposed to be told and they're not telling it. Yeah. So, but again, not a waste of time in my opinion. It was fun. I did also finish Andor a few weeks ago. I loved it. I don't think I liked it as much as season 1. Because season 1 was very meandering. The story took a really long time to get anywhere substantial. That sounds weird. The story took its time to tell something that was useful, something that had meaning. And season 2 was the opposite in its pace. There's every 3 episodes is a whole arc spaced out by a year, and it's just boom, 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 boom. You get the highlight reel. I really enjoyed the highlight reel. I loved every episode. I loved every story arc, but I much preferred the vehicle of telling a story in the format of season 1, which was much slower.
Yeah.
But I still really liked it. So
yeah, we're halfway through, enjoying it. And I hear that when you finish it, it makes you immediately want to watch Rogue One, which
I did.
I'm looking
Yes.
forward to that feeling because I loved Rogue One.
did.
As soon as it finished, I said, "Would you like to watch Rogue One?" And I clicked "Yep," and I watched the first like 30 minutes of it, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool."
Yeah.
And then you can start New Hope right after that, and you just watch the
Exactly.
original trilogy, and then you watch the prequels, and it's delightful. That's all you need.
Yep. I want to ask you two, who are kind of strangers. Like, I really don't talk that much to our audience, like on Discord. I mean, if they talk to me, do you know that this is a fake room? Like, did you know that? No. Okay. Just sometimes I don't know if it's convincing or not, or if I push the fabric of reality. Sometimes
it's not distracting.
Yeah.
Unless that, there's going to do it. No, that little icon in the back is like gets really close to the corner and it goes ding ding.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I looked at it and I was like, that's a cool room. And what gave it away to me was the projection. I was like, I don't think he is projecting a loading screen for us.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just curious how convincing it was. I don't need it to be convincing. I'm just
Yeah.
I need to ask.
I think it looks good regardless. Like I can tell, but I look at that stuff a lot.
Yeah,
like I think it looks,
you can see
it looks
the
great,
green outline right on my
Yeah, sometimes. Mine is also
curious.
fake back here.
Whoa.
both of us just like peel our walls back. It's like, what?
I've thought of
Looney
putting
Tunes
Lego
style.
sets that I don't own over on the shelf over here, like
you
a
go.
3D model. It'd be like, hey, I got the Millennium Falcon.
Got the
over
new
there.
one.
So one thing that we like to ask our guests is 2 questions about movies, of course, because I think everyone has this opinion to some extent, regardless of how much movie buff you are. What is your favorite movie, and what do you think is the best movie of all time? Because there's some that you would, enjoy, watch over and over again, and then there's one that you just like, I respect this immensely. And usually they end up being very similar to everyone else's answer, because sometimes there's just movies that stand out above others throughout time and all that, but it also shows your style. So curious to hear your answers, and we might give a brief version of our own.
X-Men Origins Wolverine is not my favorite. I accidentally said we were going through a list of our favorite, was it superhero movies?
Yeah.
And I brought that one into the list. I meant First Class, and I brought up Origins. And I'm like, those are different movies.
And he said the title, and I went, "What's wrong with you?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?"
It's good.
You misspoke, yeah.
That's the best Deadpool we've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, it's solid. Like, I think they couldn't have done it better. And,
I need to get through X-Men
you do,
before
Seth.
Doomsday now, which I guess I have 6 more months to do, but yeah.
But then you gotta choose if you're gonna go see that or Dune Messiah now. So
Or both.
Double feature.
that's crazy.
Or both.
can
That's
do
going to
both
be a long day.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you think it's gonna change? Because they're supposed to release the same day. Like, I feel like that's gonna change. I think someone's gonna.
I think they're going to keep it.
I think Dune has kept its release date from when it was announced. And Doomsday could have picked any other day, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're kind of crushed in between Christmas, and they have preferences. And I think that's usually the Marvel release day for previous fall or winter releases.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Those are. So we just had Mission Impossible and Lilo and Stitch come out, and nobody was doing the Mission Stitch meme or anything like Barbenheimer. Like, we actually went and saw Barbenheimer in a theater, and that was fun to do. But that was kind of a once lived, and the meme's over. People joke about it now, but I think that Doomsday and Dune, I think Zach called it Doomsday. Or
Doomsday.
Yeah, that's what I've seen floating around the internet.
Yeah, Doomsday.
Avengers Messiah.
It's a different movie.
I don't know. I think they're both big enough that people might want to, well, barring any other delays, people might just commit one day or one weekend to each movie and kind of show, opening weekend gives you the idea of how big the movie is, and then you'll kind of have one or the other. But I always said that I think getting Doomsday out in a year, because they only started filming like a month or two ago, and having a year turnaround on a movie that big was impossible. So I knew that they were going to delay it. And they did. And that's good, because then they can make a finished movie. I think Dune has a lot more time to be better. I don't know if they've started filming, but I hope they have. But yeah, I don't know.
Heath, answer the dang question.
I was going to say, you like how I answered your question with a question?
Well, I like going off tangents. So.
Yeah. It's hard for me to do both. So I think I'm going to just say this movie is my favorite and the best.
You can, I mean, I guess they can overlap.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that's hard for me to say this is the best movie. Sure. Just because it's like, I don't know. I think the perfect movie is like a 9.5. I don't think there's anything that's like 10, but that's my own issues. So I'll go with The Fellowship of the Ring. Favorite movie. I saw it when I'm dating myself, but I saw it in the theaters. I was there 2,500 years ago.
It's not that
The courage of men failed. When Isildur took the ring. No, I just loved it. I was just such a theater experience. I was 11 in the theater seeing it for the first time, and just like all the behind the scenes stuff really got me into just how movies are made and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just love it. Love it so much.
I just saw this today. And this is where we keep distracting ourselves. I know you guys seem to like Legos. This was just announced. You've already seen it. It's a new style that Lego's doing with Book Nooks. And having the Balrog as, I think, this is supposed to, it folds up to go between your books and whatnot. So
it's pretty cool. I don't think that the price point is worth it.
Oh, not at all.
That was shocking to me. I was like, oh, cool. $60 for a Book Nook. $130.
Yeah, but at least I think this is the first Balrog in Lego form officially.
Can you do me a favor and look up, have you guys seen the animated Fellowship of the Ring? Look up the Balrog from that. And I think
okay, I see.
The rotoscoped.
Yeah.
I love the Lego, but I think that Lego set has a lot more 1978 Balrog in it than it does 2001, and it just cracks.
Oh yeah.
Someone titled one of them the Unscary Balrog.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy two of them. But yeah, Aragorn with his short shorts.
This is so weird.
I was gonna say, have you guys talked about rotoscoping?
I mean, I know everything about it because not everything. I have a degree in animation, as I like to say.
Oh, do you have a degree in animation?
I do have a degree in animation. And no, I know how they made this. There's even they filmed it and then they more or less drew over it because it's still animated.
Yeah.
But they there's like one scene where I think Aragorn trips over his own sword and they just kept it in.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is, yeah.
But what is? So it's a human, presumably, before rotoscoping.
With like a.
Oh no!
Yeah,
this is weird. It's a unique style of animation, and probably I don't even know when the movie initially came out.
Oh, that's funny.
Is this 78? Is that? I think it is.
Animated. Yeah, you're right. 78. We're just. It's just movie night right now. Which the One Eyed Film Podcast might be doing sometime soon.
Go back to the shadows.
It's so hokey. I love it.
But it's got a charm to it.
Yeah. I think actually the ring wraiths in this movie are pretty freaky because like with the rotoscoping, they're...
Yeah, I remember the purists who read, I actually haven't read The Lord of the Rings, even though I'm homeschooled and everything. I never read through them. But I heard that the way the movie adapted it was a little different, and maybe that was more true to it. But
yeah, and for me, I saw the movie first, so I was okay with that. Like to me, the book was the different version. Yeah, and I like the books, but yeah, it's very different. But I'm very okay with that too because I'm like they're good.
Yeah, I actually, I think like my first PG-13 movie was watching The Hobbit, the first one, The Unexpected Journey.
Yeah.
The year that the Battle of Five Armies came out, we were watching the first two up until Battle of Five Armies. So I was a late bloomer into well, actually, my dad owns all three of the Lord of the Rings, and we never watched them. It's not that he didn't think we could or anything. We just never got to them.
Bad dad move.
No, he's wonderful. But then that meant I had to do the extended edition marathon when I was post college. So yeah.
That's a long one.
That's the initiation, but
I think it's 18 hours to do the extended, something like that.
I think it's 12.
12? Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't know why 18. Feels like 18.
It's 4 hours each for the extended. Andrew's making me look it up.
You're probably you're probably right. I know it's long
11?
enough where I can't teach it as a class. Teach it at my school. Because we have a week where teachers can pick a subject. And so mine is biblical themes in the Lord of the Rings films. And we have to watch the theatrical so that there'll be time for me to actually speak to my students.
11 hours and 36 minutes. But
it's worth it.
I've seen people do The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit extended all at once. And that's like a 24-hour situation that you get yourself into. Is
it actually worth watching the extended cuts of Lord of the Rings?
Oh, you're going to get... This shows how much you care about, the content that you're receiving. I don't know the exact differences. I've heard that the extended is more... Well, first off, I haven't watched the theatrical to compare. I can just look up what other people have said the differences are, but I've heard that there's like a lot more talking to the Ents, and that doesn't feel like it needs to be there. I don't know. I know it's all a masterpiece. It's just how much masterpiece can you handle / how much is necessary. But Andrew says yes, so why do you think yes?
Yeah, well, that's a good thing to consider. How much can you handle? If the theatrical release is a long movie for you anyway, and you have a hard time sitting through it, then don't push it. They're both really good. But if you want the best fleshed out version of the story that has been put onto film, then the extended is that. So if you're story based, then do that. Okay. Make it a party.
There's a Reddit thread on Lord of the Rings subreddit that argues that Fellowship of the Ring is the one that really needs the extended version. Really? And then Two Towers and Return of the King, or they say the Two Towers theatrical cut is much better. Extended cut gets bogged down by redundant scenes. And then Return of the King is it can go either way. So again, this is one person online, but okay. I think that makes sense. Sometimes you need a mix of everything.
I just watched. I've seen the extended cut of Fellowship of the Ring once, and it just felt so long to me. Yeah. I know Fellowship of the Ring is a slow story, but the extended cut, it just felt like it kept going and going.
Yeah, I think the theatrical are better movies. Mm-hmm. I do think they're they cut them for a reason. And it's kind of like deleted scenes added back in. So I would say if you're on the fence, watch the theatrical. And then if you love it and want more, go extended. But I watch the extended myself. But then when I'm showing them to a friend, I'll go theatrical just because I feel like it's hard to talk people into a 4-hour movie. I don't know why. But
there seems to be a push for longer movies, even longer than 2.5 hours. And I'm like, that's starting to push it for me. Sometimes I enjoy a nice 1.5 hour movie. We went and watched Warfare the other day, and that was short. It was well done, but it depends on what the story needs. And arguably, you can make. Probably shouldn't. I shouldn't give people this idea. Probably could make more Lord of the Rings films, at least to flesh out the story. But that's probably why the books are the way they are. They probably cover what you need for a book, and you can't get everything into. I mean, they did pretty well, but like when we talked about Lord of the Rings, some of the others said that there were it was some attack on the Shire or something that they omitted.
From the end. I've heard about that. Yeah.
So there's just some things that you don't. You just gotta set a goal for yourself for the movie and be like, we'll make it this long. Anything else is too much. But
yeah. For reference, I once sat down uninterrupted and watched an ultimate cut of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, which included Revenge of the Sith. What?
Doesn't that add back in Mon Mothma? Am I thinking of something else?
Oh, it is a deleted scene. Yeah.
No, I've seen the deleted scene, but it was an edit that someone made.
Oh, okay.
That worked in Revenge of the Sith, the last season of the Clone Wars, those last like 3 or 4 episodes with Ahsoka that were happening at the same time. And I want to say some like
Bad Batch
pertinent. What's that?
Was it like Bad Batch that was added, or?
Yeah, there was one other. I don't know if they were like cutscenes from the Fallen Order video game or something like that. Sure. But it mashed them all together. It was 5 hours long, and I sat down and watched the whole thing. Wow! So
you have way more time than I do.
Yeah. Well, no, this was 2.5 years ago.
Oh,
before a child.
And his wife works nights, so sometimes
she used to work nights, so I'd be alone from 7 o'clock until 7 a.m. And I was like, 7 to midnight is no problem.
Please.
Yeah, it was like a download off Reddit. Like some guy just made it, and I was like, thanks, Paul.
Hey, shout out to Paul, man.
Yeah,
he's doing well.
That's what, man.
That reminds me of the Patterson cut, which is a different take on. He's done Ahsoka, Kenobi, and Boba Fett. I haven't watched them yet, but he takes the TV show format and chops out what he thinks is redundant, because that's what some people believe about the shows. I hold some similar beliefs, and chop them into a movie format. And it's not quite. In your case, they cut it longer, which I think is fun because Star Wars has expanded much larger than just Revenge of the Sith in 2005. But adding those in gives it a lot more context, and especially when they're well written, like the last season of Clone Wars. And bridging animation genres or storytelling media's genres, I think would be cool to see. But at least for things like the TV shows that people are like, this could have been a movie. They go ahead and make that movie, and sometimes they even. I don't know if you've heard of the Patterson cut.
I watched the Obi-Wan Kenobi one.
Okay, I've seen it as well.
Okay, perfect.
You're in the right place.
I'm really curious about watching the Ahsoka one, because when she's fighting Anakin in the spirit world or whatever, or in her mind, he does VFX to put them in the place between worlds that they were in Rebels. And so they're not in like the space cloud bridge place. They're under that big pyramid that's coming down. Again, I maybe I should watch Rebels first, but I know about that and how cool that scene is, and giving a little bit more heart to those shows. So
yeah, no, I really liked it. I think some of those Disney shows, specifically Star Wars, they don't have enough story to tell for 8 episodes, but there's a good story for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours in there. And I think Kenobi was so much better as a 2-hour streaming movie to me.
Yeah, it's tough when I will get around to answering this question, and I appreciate the long time, because I have actually taken advantage of stalling. But I think,
well, what do you guys think? I guess. I don't know.
I think that it's tough because why not Disney? If you have 2.5 hours, 3 hours of content, why not just make a movie, release it on your platform? Because they monetize with hours or minutes spent on their service watching. So if they can take one story, so if they can take a story or a series and prolong it for 8 hours once a week, then 5 million people log onto their app once a week at least for an hour, and that's how they track like how much money we're making, how successful are we. which was actually some people I heard were talking about the dual release of The Last of Us and Andor, because there was some overlap there towards the end of Andor, and that they chose to release 3 episodes per week instead of 1 per week for 12 weeks. Because some people were speculating like, oh, they know that they're going to lose out those week or 2 or 3 of the initial season, like the comeback of The Last of Us 2. So if we drop 3 hours of content, we will win subscribers back from HBO. There's 1 hour of The Last of Us over there, but we have 3 hours of Andor. And it's an interesting thing to like think about.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anything substantial that would say like, yeah, that's what we did. I think it's easier for me to just assume that the 3 episodes being 1 arc is why they released it. But
that style has always baffled me ever since it was announced. And it partially doesn't make sense because I personally was not attracted to watching 3 episodes a week. Don't have that type of time. That's just how I am. And so regardless of if I had HBO or Disney, I'm just not going to cram 3 episodes in a week when I also have other stuff to watch and just can't get to all of them. And so then I just don't end up watching either. Or people are like me and want to watch both, but then they're like, I can't get to all of Andor right now. And so then those first week numbers drop off, or vice versa for HBO. Whereas, and then I was thinking like, if I do get around to Last of Us, like I've waited until season 2 comes out and not waiting for it week by week so that I can just watch it through.
Just watch it when you're ready.
Yeah. And then I'm not a number in their reports of like, oh, this many people watched right when the episode dropped. So I don't know. The subscription model is still new enough that it's very abstract in how we can assume it goes, but it's also a very obvious model of how long can you keep people on, or how popular do they think it's going to be with people? Are they going to get them to stay for 3 months, or is this going to be one that they keep making and they have subscribers forever? But it's interesting to talk about that stuff.
I still don't understand fully how streaming like tracks, because sometimes it'll be like, there was some show on Netflix. It was like a superhero thing. I think it was animated, but I remember like it was canceled within a week and I didn't even get a chance to watch it yet. And so it's like, well, I guess my metric doesn't count. They're like, nope, not enough people are watching it. It's like, are you going to give it a chance? I don't know. It's just so interesting that they're like, it seemed with streaming that it could be like a sleeper hit or like give people a month to watch your 8 episodes. And it's like, I was excited about it and then it was canceled. And I was like, well, okay.
Well, then there's even the idea of, do you own anything, or are you just buying a license to watch it? Things like Willow, they just made Willow, the new version of Willow, and then they didn't like it and they wiped it completely from Disney Plus.
What are you talking about?
The what now?
But I don't understand. The Willow TV show? I've never heard about it. I don't know.
This is not the show you're looking for. You've never seen
There was a
Willow
bright
from
flash on my
2018.
screen when I tried to watch it, and it was Men in Black style. I don't know.
Yeah.
Big Brother is here.
It's so I'm sure some less than legal sites have it available, but obviously they're less than legal, and so
I've heard. So Book Talk, I love reading. Book Talk is also on this kind of realization currently because Amazon this past year updated their Kindle user agreements, and basically they can do that. So if they remove a book from their Kindle store, then you no longer have it, even though you purchased it on your account.
That's crazy.
And so people were losing their minds, right? And this one lady said, if purchasing isn't owning, then pirating isn't stealing. And I was like,
that is true. If no one owns it, or wait, I'm thinking of like a syndrome.
Yeah.
If everybody owns it, nobody owns it, or I don't know.
If everyone's super, no one is.
Oh, that's funny.
listener, if you didn't already know, we did an episode with these guys earlier in the month. So go listen on their podcast when we were over there talking about the Wild Robot.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun. Talked about all our emotions and our tears that we shed watching that movie.
Yeah.
So go check
time.
them out. Follow them on their socials and on Spotify or YouTube, wherever you listen. Follow us here. Share it with a friend. And until next week, know that you're loved. God bless.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks for watching, Mom.